Yeah, it was a good one. Yeah, it really showed this Zionist. It's almost like you're going to shove the fucking boot in on a trans person for any reason. So actually, are you that much better than someone like Nancy Mace?
I love you, Mary.
Let's become a toilet channel once again.
Let's have a talk here.
This is Eric Debunks. Ban trans congresswoman? Nancy Mace plays political circus with Sarah McBride bathroom rights. Bear Daddy Supreme. Love it. Love it. Let's join the revolution, all of us together. Come on.
Things are kind of crazy right now. If you've been looking around on social media, a lot of crazy stuff coincidentally happening. Project 2025 stuff, anti-trans, anti-queer stuff, anti-gay stuff. It's just a coincidence that all of it is happening right now. A lot of gaslighting going on, a lot of people that want me to be wrong about it, but I got news for you. My track record is pretty solid.
God, have we got another fucking ally?
Pretty solid. I'm pretty good at reading the room. In my business as a DJ, I happen to have to read people in order to do my job. And therefore, I've applied that to my actual everyday life. So I'm really good at reading the room, reading space, paying attention. So when stuff like this happens, I'm like, yeah, this tracks. I guess no longer, like mask off, no point in saying that anymore. I think the mask has been off for a minute and it's been tossed out the window now. There's the mask, like it's gone.
Yeah, it's mask off to say that males are not female, I guess. I don't know.
Slurs are back on the table. I guess.
Oh no, not slurs.
People think that somehow asking others to be courteous and not use slurs means that they're not allowed to say them.
Centralizing.
Opposed to not wanting to say them. I would prefer that people don't want to say them. You know what I mean? Like that would seem like the right way to approach it. Like it's not that I am upset that I shouldn't say something or that it's inappropriate to say something. It's like, why would I want to say it? Why would I want to say slurs?
I think it was it Mav Magic? Because I said nibber at someone that suggests that I really want to say the N-word. I disagree with that personally. You're welcome to that perception. I don't think that's true though. If I wanted to say the N-word, I'd say the N-word. The whole point of this is that I am speaking freely and honestly, which is something that I've struggled to do in the past because of many different things. So I don't know.
What's the reason why?
You're
like, why do you?
trans.
Why? To spite people?
Thank you, Laura Lee. You're anti-trans now.
It's all over social media now. By the way, I predicted that a year ago. I called that out a year ago. You keep saying it. Go ahead. Obviously.
Sarah McBride being mature and sensible is actually a huge win for gaining respect for trans people. These woke idiots can't see it. True, I agree.
You're capable of doing it, but just know that you should probably...
Listen, in her situation, if I was like in Congress, yeah, I'd do that. It's not about me. It's about representing my state or whatever. You know what I mean? That should come first. Like, people didn't vote for her to like infiltrate the fucking bathroom.
Address why you want to say it. I think that's the better question. Because I'm not going to argue against free speech. Obviously, people can say whatever they want to say, but maybe wonder why you say it. Anyway, let's jump ahead to this story. I think this is pretty...
Maybe they just don't like their speech being compelled, and if saying it is a way of rebelling against you, then they'll do that. That's the problem with trying to compel people's speech, is that people are going to rebel against it, and you can't really stop them.
Important. So Nancy Mace is set to introduce a transgender bathroom ban at the U.S. Capitol. Just now. Surprise, surprise. It's all of a sudden a problem once there is a transgender congresswoman with Sarah McBride.
Well, yeah, obviously, because it's about female bathrooms.
Coming into office. Let's unpack this a little bit, right? So the first reason why they've never thought about this before is because
Because there hasn't been a transgender congresswoman. I don't have high hopes, but please, maybe he'll pull it round, okay? Maybe he'll pull it round. I've never seen this guy before. Let's be good faith.
never believed that a transgender person would ever sit on Congress. That's what they believed. So there was no rush to do this. And you know why? Because there was no threat. There's no threats of transgender people.
Yeah, there wasn't a male that might be going into the female bathroom. Oh, but the ever-loving trans community has already turned on McBride, calling her a traitor and shit. Yep, I've got loads of videos. Listen, I've reacted to so much of this shit, and there's still more. This is like a vibe check. This is the vibe check, in fact, for like trans creators, is seeing where they fall on the fence on this Sarah McBride shit. So it's like fucking, it's fucking open season. I'm finding a lot about a lot of people right now, and it's good. is good. I like it when people out themselves because then I don't have to out them, you know?
People using bathrooms in the US Capitol. Because I already did the research. There's no history of anything illegal happening, any of these things going on. And if transgender people were as dangerous as they said they are, then they would have already done this. It would have already happened.
What? He doesn't understand the issue, does he? He doesn't have a clue.
Then they would have already done this. It would have already happened.
Like, if there was more things that happened, how many trans people do you think there are? Of course, nothing much has happened. Like, that's not what the issue is. The issue is things like trans women, if that's what we're calling them, having a similar rate, if not a higher rate, of committing sexual offenses for, you know, proportionally as men, not as women. And the vast majority of trans women do not have vaginoplasties. I'm one of the rare ones.
But they're not. Therefore, it never happened. And they never expected a transgender person to be in Congress. So they never did it proactively. Because it's all a big circus. You see what I'm saying? It's all a big circus.
That doesn't mean it's a circus. That's just stating the facts and then coming to whatever conclusion suits your audience, quite frankly.
And now they have to remind trans people that they are the clowns of the circus. And this is how they do it, with a humiliation ritual. They welcome Sarah McBride in by introducing a ban to say, you got to use the men's room. We know you're a trans woman, but you got to use the men's room. Even though there's...
Well, yeah, these are things we have to sort out. And people have been resisting sorting any of that shit out for years. Because there's an effort to not want to, like, deal with any of this shit coming from the people who supposedly support us. Does anyone feel that there are exceptions like Blair White? I don't know.
There's probably a bunch of people on Capitol who are trans that have been using the bathrooms all along with no history of any problems. But
I mean, I'm not against trans women using the women's restroom myself if they pass and if they can be trusted to keep their shit to themselves, you know what I mean?
now we have to attack and humiliate Sarah. And in part of that is attacking and humiliating the trans community, and then basically
trans community. Bruv, the vast majority of the trans community is never going to piss in the US Capitol. Are you fucking for real?
humiliating the entire queer community. So it's all a process. And I know a lot of the people out there want to think that gay people and trans people are stupid because you love to look at videos of people who are upset about being oppressed in their communities.
Nope, that's not it. Also, they're probably not oppressed. But hey.
You think that's funny? So I guess you just assume that everyone who is gay or trans or whatever are just stupid.
A fear is too much. Yep. Any is too much. Fuck any trans woman that assaults anyone in a bathroom. I don't care if it's one person that's ever done it ever. It's too much and it's bullshit, and you know, we should be remembering where we came from. We should be understanding women when they talk about this shit instead of being like this guy and mansplaining, because it's almost all males. You've got some, not so much, but it seems to mostly be males at the moment.
I guess you just assume that. So we're not going to see, we don't, like, how would we figure this out? It's such a sneaky thing. It just so happens that a trans woman has been elected to Congress, and now the bill is happening. Interesting. Yeah.
It's really not that deep, bro.
Yeah. And, you know, I think it's also fun.
They haven't had that problem yet. Now they do. So they came in with it. And it also happens to be a good time in terms of where the culture's at. So yeah, Nancy Mace is being somewhat opportunistic, but what do you expect from a politician? Being opportunistic is probably a good thing for a politician, no? But the thing about passing, the reason I think that it's not so bad is, like, if someone can't tell, then there's no problem. If they can tell, then all of what you're saying applies, because they're seeing, like, fucking males there. And that's where that thing is going to come in. If people can't tell, I don't see how it's too much of a problem. And people aren't really looking very closely at each other. But at the same, I know that my bathroom takes are like, I'm not expecting to win everyone over with that, I guess. I think it should be more thought of as gendered. Like, if you look like a man, you absolutely should not be in the female toilets. It should be gendered according to what others see. And I guess that's not a very good thing. It's not a very good definition, and it's open to all kinds of abuse, for sure. As far as I'm concerned, vagina goes in girls only. Yeah, fair enough, maybe. I don't want a trans person to be in danger as well as for family bathrooms. I mean, we haven't done much to show that trans women would have issues in the men's either. It's not an easy one, but being a partisan hack over all this shit is not helping anyone. Like, these people are just propagandizing the issue. And they're as opportunistic as fucking Nancy Mace is.
Funny, I did a short about this, about how people connected to Project 2025 are now getting handouts from Trump as well, being placed at head of the FCC and stuff like that. At what point do we get to start actually complaining about it without you guys gaslighting us? That's what I would like to know. Because it's not that you have to co-sign it. You don't have to say, yes, I agree with all of this awful shit. You don't have to co-sign it. You could literally denounce it. Just like you expect us to denounce anything that our side does. Which, by the way, I have no problem doing. If something in the progressive space, liberal space, leftist space, whatever, does something dumb, I will call it out. If something Biden did I didn't agree with it, I would call it out. If something Harris did that I didn't agree with, I would call it out. But you guys have a real big problem about doing that. I see a lot of gaslighting in regards to that. Because there's no responsibility for stuff. You could easily say that you have issues with some things in the trans community, whether I agree with that or not, but you could say, yeah, this is targeted. This is 100% targeted, right? You could say that and still stand firm in your convictions. But you're not going to. None of you are going to say it. When I read the comments under this video,
is that true?
No one who is conservative is going to say, yes, this is a targeted thing. They're going to act.
Is it targeted? I mean, I don't know. We enjoyed like the culture being on our side for a long time, and now it's not. And now these questions that we've pushed under the water for a long time are surfacing. That's just how it is. That's what happens when we take over the culture with some shit that we barely thought out whatsoever and doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Like, I'm sorry. We created the conditions for this to happen. I'm bored of this video, by the way. Who's next? Who's next? Samantha Lux. Amazing.
Or appointed to the House of Representatives. So round of applause to her. We need to celebrate. Get into it. Yep. Love that for her. However, ever since she was
God, that's patronizing. Jesus Christ. Oh, you love that for her, do you? Amazing.
elected, there has been a storm of anti-trans rhetoric, anti-transness surrounding her, specifically from Miss Nancy Mace, or shall we call her Miss Nancy Erase. I was like trying to brainstorm fun little names for her. Nancy Erase, Nancy the Nutcase. That's a good one. I think we should go with that one. Let me
insults, amazing.
just look at a few of these examples.
I seem to.
Yeah, it's really crazy wanting. It's really crazy wanting female bathrooms to be female only. Yeah, she's insane. Yeah, amazing.
To blow up the radical left last night, I filed a resolution that would ban biological men from women's private spaces on the Hill. I'm just getting started.
Is this effort in response to Congresswoman McBride's coming to Congress?
Yes, and absolutely, and then some. I'm not going to stand for a man, if someone with a penis is in the...
By the way, like the stream, check the links in my description. You can support the stream on Streamlabs. You can super chat using that. You can check out my music. I have Bandcamp, I have Spotify, and you can join my Discord. Hey.
women's locker room. That's not okay. Yes, I'm not going to allow biological men into women's private spaces. I will stand in the brink and stand in the way of anyone on the radical left who thinks that it's okay for a penis to be in a women's locker room or a bathroom or a changing room. Hell no.
She has been going crazy over on Twitter, on her TikTok, pretty much anywhere that she's allowed.
What, promoting her bill that she is pushing?
Nowadays, talking all about how men should not be allowed in women's restrooms. And
yeah, when I say about things like passing, a lot of it is like social cohesion. A lot of it is the fact that you walk past each other in the bathroom, like you don't really look at people very much. As long as you look like okay and you keep yourself to yourself and you don't act like a freak, it's probably fine. But the thing is, if anyone does, it's going to cause a lot of problems because there's a huge like magnifying glass on us right now. You know, I'll cop to that, you know. There's my soy take, you know what I mean? But I don't know.
And how penises are not allowed around her, blah, 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 a bunch of crazy stuff that we will get into today. But what I want to focus more on is the response from Sarah McBride herself. Like I said, my name is Samantha Lux. I post videos every single week here on my channel where I give you guys my opinion as a trans woman who studied media. So if you guys are not yet subscribed and you would like to be, go ahead and do that right now. I'll wait for you. Go ahead. Go ahead. I got my nails on. I also have little
I actually hate that.
pink and green gems for Wicked. Who's seen Wicked? I saw Wicked. It was so good. I cried.
Oh my God, has anyone seen like the interviews with like these two? Oh my God, there's some really weird shit. Like they act like, I don't even know what they act like. It's so strange. Maybe I'll find some when I finish this quick.
Like 4 times. Are you done? Thank you very much. Also, make sure to follow me over on Instagram and TikTok to keep as up to date with me as possible. I have a Patreon, so if you guys like the work that I do here in my channel and you would like to support me, you can do that on Patreon. That's the best way to do that. And I also
Support the Marichu instead. Hashtag subscribe to the Marichu.
have a Twitch channel that I play video games on every single week. Fun games, not like the games Miss Nancy Mace is playing. So with no further ado, let me tell you a little bit about what's going on, because while it's funny, it's kind of serious too. Okay, so like I said, Sarah McBride is a transgender woman who was recently elected to the House of Representatives.
Well, the thing is, if they don't know you're trans, then what Russian roulette is going on? You don't even know. That's kind of my point, I guess. I don't know. Ideally, we'd be able to use the bathroom and there'd be no problems, but we don't live in that reality. I don't know.
She was elected in Delaware. This is very great. You know, it's an amazing thing. But ever since she was elected, Nancy Mace, who was another member of the House of Representatives, has been campaigning for a new bill that she wrote, a new amendment to a bill or something like that, that is banning trans women from using the restroom that corresponds with their gender identity. So the proposed bill would ban trans people from using bathrooms, locker rooms, private spaces, anything like that in Congress. And if she gets her way, it will be extended to all federal buildings, which
Well, it's not banning, it's restricting to biological sex. Fucking mad thing is when this hoo-ha with Nancy and Sarah first came up. I'd never heard them before. I saw Nancy Mace and generally assumed she was the trans woman. See, I know of Nancy Mace because there's a video of her, like, giving a trans person called Alejandra Caraballo a right fucking bollocking about some tweets about, like, you know, insinuating violence towards people. She was like, there were these tweets on massive boards in this courtroom that she was like reading out and stuff. It's amazing. I think I will have to, like, just before I finish. Being around males is not Russian roulette. Yeah, I agree with that.
Which is, first of all, crazy to me because there is literally one transgender person in Congress. Sarah McBride is the very first one. So even if she didn't admit it, which she did, we're about to watch the video, this is very clearly an attempt or
Admit what? There's a presence of someone that is causing that kind of problem.
an attack on a very specific individual, one trans person. And it's just kind of funny because that's just the overarching theme of these anti-trans laws is they make it out to be these
Anti-trans laws, amazing. There's like thousands of them supposedly every year, but half of them are about shit that trans people aren't even in much of a consensus about. So how's that anti-trans? I don't know. Hi Shiloh, we are watching Samantha Lux talk about the Nancy Mace, Sarah McBride thing. And then we've got another video about the same thing.
big issues that are affecting everybody. And there are these major things that need to be addressed right away, but then you dig into it and it's affecting like 2 people across the entire country. That's
She doesn't understand. She doesn't understand. She doesn't get the argument. It's fine if you don't, but why make a video about this at all?
just funny to me. But let's look at a couple of these examples of what she's been saying on her Twitter, because like I said, she has not shut up about it. She's been shrieking, if you
Yeah, she's promoting a fucking bill. No wonder.
will. So first of all, there's this one where she retweeted Elon Musk, our favorite. And it's a tweet that says, hard to swallow pills.
These trans YouTubers always shit on everyone, yet not a single one spent a minute talking about Uganda's inhumane treatment of gay and lesbian. Not a single minute on Dearborn being taken over by Islamists. Hey, I'll kind of expand on what you're saying. The amount of these people that I see, I don't know about Samantha Lux specifically, but I've done this with several of them. The amount of them that will say things like, "Oh, I care so much about like detransitioners. I just hate the ones that become grifters, you know, Chloe Cole, etc." None of these people ever have shit to say about detransitioners. They care about them. They don't say shit about them. Like the trans community sweeps them under the rug. And then they end up going to talk to like right-wing figures who will actually give them the time of day. And then we call them grifters. It's disgusting. Are they still kicking and screaming? Well, people are still uploading videos about it because this was 1 day ago. And I think the other one I'm watching was recent as well. So yeah, I don't know. The bathroom stuff is carrying on for a little bit. But I don't know how long, unfortunately.
Underneath, your mental illness is not my reality. And then underneath, she tweeted, #hold the line, calling trans people mentally ill. Love that. Oh, okay. This one was my favorite.
Gender dysphoria is a mental illness, so what do you expect? I don't know. I'm mentally ill, whether or not I'm trans. I don't see it as a bad thing. It's just, well, I do see it as a bad thing, because there's certain things I have that I wish I didn't. But it doesn't make me a bad person. And if you're to say that I'm mentally ill, it's like, well, what are you insinuating about me? Because it's probably not true.
So what is this? This says you can't erase us, Nancy. Well, then you shouldn't try to erase women. I have to say, for any man that wants to be in a woman's restroom, bathroom, dressing room, locker room, absolutely not.
Like, all this is like performative as shit, but at the same time, she's like, yeah, it's it's a big deal at the moment. Like, it's not very surprising that she's kind of doing all this shit. Oh, they don't give a fuck. They bully G-trans like that girl for experiencing alopecia. They're all mocking her. I watched some of that shit. I know who you mean. But don't you dare mock its ma'am or else you're a bigot. Yep, true.
I remember I was about 18, 19, and Weight Watchers had just come to this country. And I went on that. We didn't have...
I just love that last scene.
The thing is, that's the whole point. If these people are like, again, I'm not saying her. I've seen plenty of people like this. If they're gonna be full of shit, then I'm gonna show that they're full of shit. Like, it just is that easy. All you have to do is like search detransitioners and a few other different terms on their videos. Like, what was it? Luxander. She was a really bad one, considering especially that she is technically a detransitioner. Like, video after video shitting on this detransitioner and that detransitioner and this one. It's like, you say that you care about these people. Like, where? That's my whole point. If I can show that this is bullshit, then I'm going to show it.
Just her hand. That's good. That's what I've been saying. These people like Donald Trump, Nancy Mace, all these people should have just gone into comedy. They would have had way more successful well, unfortunately, that's not the truth. But they would have had very, very nice...
Yeah, Donald Trump would have been more successful as a comedian than someone who's going to be the president of the United States again. I'm glad you realized, because what the fuck? Nancy Mace. I mean, I love that video of her with Alejandra Caraballo. That video is amazing. Like, I don't know if I agree with like the bathroom ban, but the truth is that we've kind of made the conditions for this to happen, unfortunately. So this is just kind of how the culture is swinging now. So whether I agree with it or not is almost immaterial in some ways.
Productive careers, and I would have liked them more. She posted this one on her little TikTok.
Oh, I would have liked them more. Oh, why don't you just do what I want you to do?
Let's see.
Hey guys, I am at the airport making my way back home to Low Country in South Carolina. I just spoke at an event with a couple hundred people. Some trans lunatic tried to rush the stage and attack me, and he is just making the case.
Surely she is not going to like sign off on this. Like, assuming this happened, of course.
For me that we don't want penises in women's spaces. F off. And I just had a woman come up to me and get in my face about it, and I told her to F right off.
Okay, so this is just a very good example of the type of content that she's been posting over the past few weeks that she's been pushing these bills. It's all very aggressive rhetoric, calling trans women men, saying that penises do not belong in women's restrooms. Just very aggressive. Very, very aggressive. She posts videos like this.
Nothing to say about the fact that someone tried to assault her? Jesus Christ. I'm a bit taken aback. I was waiting for her to like at least acknowledge that. Like, fucking hell.
Saying that, you know, there's these trans lunatics that are coming and attacking her because of what she's saying. But then there's like video evidence and like video proof that she posted herself of said trans person that was coming up on stage to attack her. I'm sorry, I'm laughing because it's just so funny. Watch this video.
A lot of responsibilities too. Ro and I.
I'm sorry. You're living with that in real time right now. This is ridiculous.
How does she know what that person is going to do when they spring up like that?
The day after Trans Day of Visibility, we have had dozens of...
The day after trans visibility. That has very... Is it Tati Westbrook that says something like, and you did it on my birthday? That is very that. Trans Day of Visibility. I hope they fucking cancel that shit forever. Fuck Trans Day of Visibility. Do you know what I know Trans Day of Visibility to be? Somewhere where fucking non-binary identified women who have not changed and are not changing anything about themselves post fucking selfies of themselves. Because, you know, we're all narcissists. And even our activism is narcissism. And most actual trans people I know don't even participate in Trans Day of Visibility.
Trans people die this year because of the hate and lies that you are spreading. And we want an internet. Are we building an internet with free speech for everyone or just the privileged few? Are you going to stand up for the lives of trans people, black and brown people? Are we fighting for justice or are we fighting for big tech?
God loves him. I love him, but his penis isn't going to be in my bathroom. So, at any rate, but we have a responsibility.
Yeah, she won that one, like straight on with it. That's how you do it.
I love the audience booing her. Get her ass. Oh my God. But see, like she's trying to create this narrative that she's protecting women and doing this amazing one.
You don't know what that person would have done. Just don't like how these TERFs demonize everyone, their mama, for no reason. Yeah, some of them... Oh, the model thing. Was that even like a women's award? Or just an award for models? I don't know. Trans visibility, whatever day, is no different than Donut Day. Been feeling like crap lately because of the Supreme Court stuff. I can't believe people think this is okay. Listen, it's a process. It's going to take a long time. I hope that I can help some trans people see the light and transition into what is going to be a different way of thinking for a lot of people, because this shit is going to come crashing down. It's fighting it, kicking and screaming, and people like this are leading the charge, I guess, but it's not going to work. Like, we had it good for a long time, and it's swung back on us because that's what happens. Like, sorry about it, you know. Trans rights activism and stuff, it's in hospice care, you know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much we fight it. It's only going to be so long.
Wonderful thing, but first of all, nobody agrees with her. Like, even the people that are listening to her.
Nobody agrees with her.
The late Attorney General Beau Biden served in the Obama-Biden White House. Most recently, she served as the national spokesperson for the Human Rights Campaign, the nation's largest blah, 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 blah. She worked as an advocate to deliver critical wins across Delaware. She's a great person. She's just like your typical Democrat. I mean, I don't want to say that because Democrat, you know what I mean? No Democrat hate, but from what I've heard about her, she's not this crazy radical person. And from the response...
I thought she was a Zionist. Going on about penises, recognizing it's about sex. I guess she's trying to say the same thing though, right? I'm not sure. Forcing soccer players to promote their cause. Oh, there was something about a Muslim player not wanting to. I don't know. If someone doesn't have those beliefs, then you should leave them alone. I don't like the idea of like turning that kind of shit into like justice causes or whatever, social justice causes. Like, don't people indulge in like sport and video games and all this other shit? Don't they do that in order to get away from the world for a bit? No more sold out. Well, they ran out of actual issues to champion, and now they're just pushing dumb shit because they want to still get money and they want to still exist. So we have to pretend that smaller and smaller things mean that we're totally as oppressed as all the gays that were in Stonewall or some shit. I don't fucking know.
That I've seen about her, you know, the campaign that she was running, she doesn't seem like a crazy radical person either.
I think that folks know that I'm personally invested in equality as an LGBTQ person, but my priorities are going to be affordable childcare, paid family medical leave, housing and healthcare, reproductive freedom.
Overall, I will say this is a win for us. So little finger tap for that. That's wonderful. At least some good things did come out of this election, right? I do have some grievances about Sarah McBride, specifically her reaction to Nancy Mace and to what the House Speaker Mike Johnson said about this whole bill that was proposed, but we'll get there. First of all, I want to talk a little bit about this issue, right? This bathroom issue that is being drawn up to be this giant thing once again. I mean, this is not new. We saw it back in 2016. This is just not an issue. I thought that we were over this, and it still to this day has the same tired, dishonest framing. So to me, it's very, very clear that it's the same thing.
Yep, it's just transphobia disguised as blah, blah, blah. We have gay rights shit that totally is the same as trans. Where does she get to the bit where Sarah McBride talks?
They're trans is a threat. That's called prejudice. Transphobia even. It is disgraceful, and a senator...
She literally says transphobia as soon as I fucking... Like, really?
And so let's listen to a little bit of what he said.
I just want to make a statement for all of you here and be very clear. I was asked a question.
All those things at the same time. Okay, fair. Get into my grievances with Sarah McBride a little bit. Not with Sarah McBride, but with her response to this whole situation.
Yeah, here we go.
Because she did respond to this, but unfortunately it was not the trans activist response that I had hoped for, and that I think...
Trans activist response. Listen, we're lucky it isn't. What the fuck would you want from her?
A lot of people have hoped for. So she or her team released a statement on Twitter. It says, "I'm not here to fight about bathrooms. I'm here to fight for Delawareans and bring down costs facing families. Like all members, I will follow the rules as outlined by Speaker Johnson, even if I disagree with them. The effort to distract from the real issues facing this country haven't distracted me over the last several days."
Oh, Christina, that's very, very, very easy. You will hear Max coming from about a quarter mile away.
I've remained hard at work preparing to represent the greatest state in the union come January. Serving in the 119th Congress will be the honor of a lifetime, and I continue to look forward to getting to know my future colleagues on both sides of the aisle. Each of us were sent here because voters saw something in us that they value. I've loved getting to see those qualities in the future colleagues that I've met, and I look forward to seeing those qualities in every member come January. I hope all my colleagues will seek to do the same with me. Okay. Now, I know I said that I had grievances, but I do want to first say that I think this is a great approach. like I know anything, you know what I mean? But I do think this is a good approach. Focusing on the real issues instead of the culture war and the chaos surrounding the culture war.
Actual sensible take compared to most people. Fucking hell.
It's a great approach, and I think it will resonate with a lot of people who see through the bullshit of trans women are men and they shouldn't be in our bathrooms. It will resonate for...
Yeah, but how's that bullshit? You're a male, just like me.
a lot of those people, but I think it's just like missing a little something, like a big something, you know? I will say, yes, she's clearly playing an optics game and it does look great. You know, Nancy looks crazy. She looks unhinged, chaotic even. And in contrast, Sarah McBride looks very calm, collected, and professional. And while I do think that there is a lot of power in this approach, and I do think it's very graceful of her, I wish she would have stood up for the trans community a little bit more. We know this is not—
But it's not about the trans community. It's about like the Capitol bathrooms. It doesn't have anything to do with the trans community for the most part.
Never been about bathrooms. This is about sending a message that trans people are not who we say we are. And even more insidious, that we, just because we're trans, pose a threat to vulnerable people.
Well, are you a woman? Are you female? Is that not kind of the case on some level? Should we not engage with that at any point?
If we give them this, they will take it further and further and further. So
yeah, just like you fucking people did. We were able to transition as adults. And now we're talking about like kids and stuff. This is exactly the problem that we fucking had. It's almost like this is projection. Because it was a slippery slope going our way, which I wish I fucking knew about that when I transitioned. I fucking wouldn't have, because fuck that shit. I'm not into like kids transitioning and stuff. Like, this is cooked. Like, listen. She has the best response we've seen so far about the actual statement. But this is dumb.
Oh, it's hard. It's really hard because what is she supposed to do, right? Break the rules and potentially be removed from Congress, leaving—
Like, she's one of those people that hints at having actual, like, empathy and an actual thought process going on in there. But I don't know, that's about it. That's about it, really. Anyway, we've got Dead Domain. I'm really excited for this one.
I wanted to talk about this first, though, because this happened just a couple days ago. You probably didn't hear about it because of the Matt Gaetz shit, because of the Sarah McBride shit. There has been a turn, even in the last couple days. And I think it's something that we're going to see from the next Guns in Public. Representative Nancy Mace is doing her damnedest impression of Marjorie Taylor Greene. She is really trying to fill in that hole.
Isn't Marjorie Taylor Greene still a senator? I could be wrong, but there are better ways to earn money than to do this to kids and pre-op folk. Yeah, true.
Trying to become the next Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
What is this, like, guilt by association shit? Like, what are you saying by reading out a bunch of other names? Like, what's the point in this?
By just being as aggressive, despicable, rude, and cruel as possible, which is all of the Republican Party's favorite things. So they're just eating her up right now.
There you go. If you support the Republican Party, you are literally evil because this male human being said so. Oh, what have I done? What have I done? I have made my thing smaller. Show the TikTok of TIMs jerking off in the women's... Oh, I haven't seen any. I've seen plenty of photos being like, I'm going into the women's and you can't stop me, which is bizarre, weird. I really don't like this person. Like, this person isn't stupid. I've watched two things with them in. One of them was the most cooked shit ever. It was... What was it? Reacting to Blair White at Pride and blaming her for everything and just complaining the whole time. She did some kind of thing, well, this person did some kind of thing about, like, Christian protesters at a Pride, and that to me was like idiot versus idiot, because I don't like either of them, really. I don't like either of those groups. This is why moderates didn't vote for Harris.
Now, this is what she's been going on. She's been making a whole media tour to talk about one other specific representative, Sarah McBride.
4 years ago.
I love it. This came out 2 days ago. We already know all of this. Jesus Christ. I have to have the same primer every time.
I came out as transgender while serving as student body president in college. At the time, I was scared. I worried that my dreams and my identity were mutually exclusive. Since then, though, I've seen that change is possible. I witnessed history interning at the White House and helping my home state of Delaware pass protections for transgender people.
Just eating up the applause, you became famous basically by being the first woman at the Citadel, right? First female graduate. How do you feel about
her rise to this kind of prominence. Being a member of Congress is a big deal, and I can't see any other accomplishment other than being a transgender.
Well, I've broken many glass ceilings. As you said, I was the first.
Well, she got voted in. That's usually the main accomplishment you need to be a senator. No offense.
I'm going to graduate from the Citadel Military College of South Carolina. I'm the first Republican woman ever elected to Congress from the great state of South Carolina. It is offensive that a man in a skirt thinks that he's my equal.
And that's, to me, I wanted to play that because I don't want to give this fucking ghoul more of the time of day than she needs. I think, honestly, if you gave her any more time of day, she would probably turn to ash. But I think that encapsulates for me what the actual complaint here is about. It is not about disagreeing with somebody's way of life. It is about dehumanization. Sorry, let me take that again. It's about dehumanization. It is about...
How is it dehumanizing to call someone a man? What does man mean? Man means adult human male. If you get a dog and it's male and it's an adult, it's not a man dog. If you get a deer that is a male and an adult, is not a man deer. There are other words for those things. This is not dehumanization. That's a ridiculous point. This is like, that's a Brianna Wu point. I'm always surprised to hear that from this person because I wouldn't have thought they liked Brianna Wu very much, but there we go.
Making others feel like they are quite literally less human than you. I think that was a little bit of a mask slip there.
How so? What the fuck are you talking about?
Where she wants to say, a man in a skirt, that is the term she is defining a woman by, is...
In what way is Sarah McBride a woman?
Equal to me.
What defines womanhood for you? How does a male take on womanhood?
He is my equal. Now, the reason I want to preface these two things before talking about Sarah McBride is that you cannot talk about Sarah McBride's stance and statement without talking about the world around her, the context of all that came before her.
Yep, here's the context. People are sick of this shit. We didn't really justify most of the stuff that is why the culture moved towards pro-trans shit, and now it's swinging back again. That's the context. They're not gonna get it. Same for sport. If you deny them the same space as women's, you're not affirming their identity. Yeah. Like fairness, equality for women and shit like that. Yeah. Nancy's wording is a little bitchy, but she's right. Delaware is kind of tiny compared to Carolina. Yeah. And I mean, Nancy Mace is more experienced. Like, it kind of is what it is. Gay males can't stand Fajoshi's. My partner's a Fajoshi, but she's cool about it, hopefully.
I don't really want to litigate Sarah McBride's stances on Israel. She has openly supported Israel.
Zionist. There we go. If you don't agree with me on Israel-Palestine conflict that I can do no fucking thing about whatsoever, you're an evil person.
And for that alone, she should not have the support of anybody who isn't, like, who is knowledgeable about any political subject, really.
That is retarded.
So I don't really want to...
Oh, victory sip. Yeah, it was a good one. Yeah, it really showed this Zionist.
I want to put that aside for a moment. Because what I actually want to talk about...
You didn't even want to talk about that. Why bring it up? It's almost like you're going to shove the fucking boot in on a trans person for any reason. So actually, are you that much better than someone like Nancy Mace?
Is how, as the first, I believe she is the first, yes, yeah. Sarah McBride is the first elected transgender person for the U.S. House of Representatives. And even on election night, that election was a small light for many queer and trans people. A very small light. Dulled by the aforementioned Israel stuff. But as Trump supporters, sycophants...
What, because the average queer fucking... Well, they probably do support Palestine, but like, I don't know. That just sounds a bit transphobic. Like, you think that queer and trans people have to have a certain opinion, which they don't. But then, I don't know. I think this person struggles with anything that doesn't agree with their worldview. So, what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to say?
Fans, Elon Musk fans, everybody was sending death threats and suicide bait and all sorts of other awful shit to queer people.
Yeah, as if none of them do that to other people. I don't condone it either way. It's bad. The amount of queer people that act like fucking insane, deranged freaks on the internet. Like, yeah, I'm not surprised. I actually think a lot of these people, you should really check in any case what exactly they act like on the internet before you just believe that they're a victim of like all these death threats and stuff. Because I don't really get fucking death threats. Like, I don't know.
got plenty.
Okay, no, I've had one. Max from Queer Gossip told me to hang myself and wished that I was dead multiple times when they reviewed our debate.
The idea that we still have a trans representative was powerful for a lot of people. It was a little thing to hold on to. So it's not surprising when you have people as rude and as cruel as Nancy Mace that they are going to attack somebody for something so thin, so inconsequential in the grand scheme of things.
Of course it's thin. You're a male. You shouldn't be using the fucking women's bathroom anyway. It's insane. Like, something so thin. Ask women how they feel about it. But you won't. Because you've decided that queer rights matter more than women's rights. Because that's what is going on. There's a clash between trans rights and women's rights. And you think trans rights are more important. So just be honest.
Because that is how the conservative culture war operates. It's how the conservative trans culture war operates. These things don't really matter to the average American, but they want to convince people that they're actually important.
They don't matter to the average person, but they're massive fucking media issues. So we hear about it all the time anyway.
That every school just has legions of boys who are joining like women's sports teams, despite the fact that it is a ridiculous.
Why would it matter how many people there are? Why should there be even one doing this when they're males? Males have advantages in almost every sport.
Incredibly small minority.
That doesn't matter. Why do these people say this shit, man? What minority, sorry, let me rephrase this. What proportion of female athletes can be male before this person will say, actually, there's a problem here? Because that's their point. There's a small number of them. That doesn't matter. That just makes me wonder where your threshold is. So what if that does happen? We should wait until women's sports is basically fucking male sports again for you to admit that there's a problem? Why not just accept fucking reality on this one?
And in one hand, there is a liberal, they go low, we go high mentality that I understand is where Sarah McBride is coming from here.
Liberal. They mean something when they say the word liberal. These people hate liberals. These people are the kind of people that say shit like, cut a liberal and a fascist bleeds. I guess let's not worry about fucking World War II. Let's not worry about Stalin literally fucking forging an alliance with Hitler before Hitler stabbed him in the back. Let's not worry about who was it that fucking fought the Nazis for the most part. Fucking liberal countries, fucking France, UK, US, etc.
McBride responded with a post on X. I'm not here to fight about bathrooms. I'm here to fight for Delawareans and to bring down costs facing families. Like all members, I will follow the rules as outlined by Speaker Johnson, even if I disagree with them. This effort to distract from the real issues facing this country hasn't distracted me over the last several days.
What's interesting to me is women's sports has never had this sort of attention, not since women started playing as women. Yeah, it's kind of sad in a way. Also, hi, Amy Skull.
Now, on its face, that is a very principled way to approach the issue. I understand why somebody would make that decision. I understand.
Oh, how kind of you to validate her decision, even though apparently she's letting us down.
And that they think it is a good dig at Republicans to say, actually, I'm above this petty bullshit.
That's not why she's doing it. It's not about digging the Republicans. It's about wanting to do her job and not like getting into these like petty battles. Okay, fine, I'll piss in the men's or I'll piss in the gender neutral ones. I'm here to do a job.
And to turn around and go, this doesn't bother me at all. But it is
also maybe it doesn't bother her at all. Have you ever thought about that? You know, trans people all have independent brains. You know that we all are actually capable of thinking whatever the fuck we want, not thinking in lockstep with you.
So the same, they go low, we go high. Moral superiority, liberal bullshit.
It's not even what it's about. This person is so fucking lost in the sauce. Like, they probably were an intelligent person once upon a time, but they are lost.
That has led us...
Yes, Rapchick, I completely agree. I don't know what the fuck this person is talking about.
To the point we're at right now, essentially. This is maybe a principled stance, but it is a principled stance based in somebody who is not experiencing the wider context around them and who they are. You might not get to choose to be trans. You did.
Well, no, you literally do. I read a thing that defined gender identity earlier that basically said, yeah, that's what it means. At the moment, yeah, it's just a choice. Who is this? This is Dead Domain. They thought McBride was an internet activist like themselves. Yep, they don't understand how politics works. They don't understand that even their fucking heroes like Bernie Sanders and AOC, they all have to work with people they disagree with. They have to work with liberals. They have to work with Republicans sometimes. It's called fucking politics. And this person is not a politician. This person, given the chance, would probably want to tear all the fucking politics stuff down. And then tear capitalism down and leave us with God knows fucking what. So why they have any fucking... why anyone's listening to them on fucking politics, I have no idea. Because this person has no opinion. There is no point. This is just lip service for all the fucking radicals fucking freaking out. Sarah McBride is just letting her. Well, she's letting her because Sarah McBride has much more, important things to care about than where she pisses. She's got a job to do. She's probably getting paid decently for that job. She should take it seriously. And she seems to be fair.
Did choose to run for office. Maybe this particular time and place in history, you didn't choose to be the first elected trans representative. But it happened. And you should be prepared for the responsibility that comes with that.
That's what she's doing.
Especially at a time like this. It is so disappointing to see somebody so quickly roll over and play dead.
Knock rage, knock rage, knock rage, knock rage.
For people who, make no mistake, again, like we were talking about with Nancy Mace, dehumanize her. She does not see Sarah.
Dehumanize someone by calling them a man, literally, which means male adult human. Yeah, good one. Good one, dead domain. Fucking dead fucking brain, more like. I'm joking.
As an equal. She sees her as lesser. I would be surprised.
But like the narc rage coming off of this person is palpable. This is like peak narc rage.
If the Republicans, people like Johnson, people like Nancy Mace, even see her...
This is a fucking case study is what this is.
...as a human being. So when she is abdicating her ability to make an actual stand for other trans people, in a place, mind you, arguably, the safest physical place you could do it. There is constant security. Representatives have their own bathrooms. What she is...
Don't worry about her potentially losing a job or some shit. Yeah, geez.
...doing, whether she realizes it or not, is failing every trans person.
Narc rage.
In the country with us. Because simply rolling over, simply shriveling up, and taking up less and less space.
Is that what she's doing? Not lost, more like found an endless narc supply and diving headfirst into a group who are loyal to a fault. Yeah. Oh no, I think this person's like political opinions are like the definition of like lost in the source. Like this person has nothing of value to say. And what they want is something that's never been conceived and no one wants and will not work. Like this person, there is no point in listening to them except as like a thought exercise or some shit. Or to study narcissism of the male brain.
When somebody says, "Get out of my way, rat. Why are you here? You aren't even equal to us." There is a time for ignoring, quote unquote, ignoring the haters, right?
I just want to see if this person cries.
It is galling that we went through the election we just went through, with all the fucking rhetoric we just had to deal with.
Oh, it's so sad. We have to deal with rhetoric. Oh no. Jessie gender clone. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I think she's like slightly smarter than Jessie Gender. I don't know why I'm saying she. I have no idea what pronouns they go by. People will tell me that fucking I should pronoun people correctly. Well, you all want to look like fucking nothing. So how am I supposed to know?
And one of the first news cycles of the upcoming presidency has to do with this shit. A Democrat just rolling over at the first sign.
How is it rolling over? I'm sorry she didn't do what you wanted her to do. I'm sorry. Most of all, I'm sorry for myself because you know what's annoying? I keep doing these videos and I keep putting the same fucking tags and stuff on like the thumbnails because all of this is just, oh, why won't Sarah McBride do what I want her to do? And there's a very quick and easy counter to that is that she is not you and she doesn't owe you your opinions parroted back to you. She doesn't owe you to do what you want. Or any fucking radical freaks that have destroyed fucking trans acceptance. Yes, that's what I think of you.
Of any struggle. And here's the real thing. Somebody earlier was talking about like how can we depend on the Democrats to defend us? We can't. We can't depend on elected representatives.
Anti-electoralism, great.
Your community has to keep you safe. You can't depend on people.
Yeah, trans communities are so great. Like, how is the suicide rate not lower? Why is it that anyone that fucking shows up with a slightly different view of anything gets immediately fucking thrown out, gets immediately fucking screamed at? What do you think happens to those people? Do you think none of those people try and find like other trans people on the internet because they don't know anyone in real life and they feel a bit rejected by society? So they try and befriend these trans people, but they're not willing to like change their entire belief system and personality to fit in. So they just end up out on their ass again. Do you not think any of those like end up killing themselves? Do you not think there's not victims of these shitty trans communities that treat anyone that doesn't think in lockstep like shit? Their domain is a non-binary, typical left extreme person with into the internet with the same fear-mongering talking points. Yep, sounds about right. He knows he wants the impossible, so they get endless victimhood. Yeah, true.
People who care more about their polling data than they do about who's actually hurt or protected by the things they say.
Yeah, it's retarded. I can't be bothered. There we go. Sarah McBride Palooza is over. Hopefully I do not have to talk about that shit again. I do very quickly want to show that wicked interview.